Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, if you use AI regularly, you know the absolute frustration of constantly hitting those usage limits, right? You ask your favorite AI a handful of completely reasonable questions, and suddenly, boom, you're locked out. It's telling you to come back in 3 hours, 5 hours, or no joke, maybe even the next working day. Well, today we are going to fix that. Our goal here is to master token consumption, and we're not just going to do it by changing our habits, but through actual systems thinking. We're going to look at the hidden costs of AI chats and ultimately focus on an automated system architecture that solves this problem for good.
Okay, let's dive into this. 3.77 billion. In just one single day, a user's tracker recorded 3.77 billion tokens moving through their AI workspace. Now let's be real here. Nobody is literally typing 3.77 billion tokens in a day, right? That's impossible. So where on earth are all these tokens actually coming from? Well, this massive number is the exact reason you keep hitting your usage limits.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what's happening. Out of that massive 3.77 billion token count, almost 96% of it, we're talking 3.59 billion tokens, was actually reused input. This completely validates your frustration with hard data. You aren't doing anything crazy to hit your limits. It's just a system dragging this enormous invisible anchor behind every single message you send.
So, what exactly is reused input? Basically, it's the portion of every AI request that the model has already seen and processed in your ongoing conversation. Think of your AI like a physical desk. I call it the messy desk analogy. When you ask the AI to do a complex job, it's like dumping every file, every PDF, and every tool you own onto the desk all at once. If you bring all your files to the desk simultaneously, it just clutters the whole thing up. Every single time you hit enter, the AI has to reread and process every single paper on that messy desk, and that dramatically compounds your token costs.
Here's our escalation map for this explainer. First, we'll uncover the hidden token tax. Second, we'll look at manual and assisted cleaning. And finally, we'll escalate all the way up to our main focus, Level 3, the fully automated ringer architecture. Let's get right to it.
Section 1. The hidden token tax. Now, you might be wondering, why don't the AI labs just magically fix this tomorrow? Well, fundamentally, they actually have a financial incentive for us to consume more tokens. It means we're heavily using their product.
To understand this invisible tax, you really have to understand the brutal compounding rule of large language models. Because AI doesn't actually have a persistent memory. Every time you hit enter, the entire conversation gets wrapped up in a bow and sent again right from the top. Your first message costs exactly what you typed. Your second costs what you typed, plus the answer, plus the original text. Your 10th costs what you typed plus the 9 previous exchanges. And by message 30, the new text you just wrote is a tiny, tiny rounding error buried beneath an absolute mountain of old context that you were paying for all over again.
Section 2. Manual and assisted cleaning. Since the models won't magically fix this for us, it's up to us to clean our own AI desks. Ironically, the more capable these models get, with bigger context windows and more tools, the messier the desk gets, actually creating even larger cleanup problems for us.
So what are the best manual habits? Let's rapid fire through these. First, edit your mistakes instead of typing a new reply that just says you're wrong. Second, and this is absolutely crucial, start clean tasks when jobs change. Testing showed this drove the absolute biggest measurable drop in token consumption. Seriously, don't carry 1 million tokens of old baggage into a brand new job. Third, carry the final answer forward into a new chat, not the entire messy argument and rejected drafts it took to get there. And fourth, convert heavy, layout-rich PDFs to simple, plain text to save massive amounts of space.
Now, doing all that manually sounds a bit tedious. There are Level 2 solutions, like installing a token saver skill. Think of this kind of like hiring a janitor to clean your desk while you work. It automates a lot of those habits, but here's the catch. It eventually hits a wall. Why? Because the skill still runs completely inside the chat window. It shares the exact same context ceiling and hidden setup instructions as the model itself. By the time the AI even reads the skill, that massive request envelope has already been sent.
Section 3. The ringer architecture. Let's move to and see how this builds from behavioral advice into actual system design, specifically the Level 3 Ringer Multi-Agent Framework.
To break through that ceiling, we have to step outside the chat window entirely. Here's exactly how the Ringer framework operates spatially. Step 1. You submit a prompt. Step 2. Ringer intercepts that request locally, right on your machine. Step 3. Ringer acts as an intermediary, processing, restricting, or routing the data.
And finally, step 4. Only the perfectly clean, optimized data actually goes out to the external model provider. Ringer hooks into the request locally before that incredibly expensive envelope is ever sealed and sent out.
Because Ringer sits locally between you and the AI provider, it unlocks some really incredible architectural features. For one, Ringer can sometimes return an answer or run a fixed local recipe entirely without an external model call. It stops the mess completely by processing the task locally. You literally spend 0 API tokens because the prompt never even left your computer. How great is that?
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that this architecture introduces an absolutely crucial concept: hard limits. When you rely solely on a standard chat interface, you're pretty much at the mercy of whatever the system decides to pull in. But with this intermediary architecture, you are empowered to set strict data boundaries. You can constrain the size of outgoing packets or incoming responses. This means you will never accidentally send 10 million tokens in a single click just because a tool grabbed way too much background data. You are finally in total control of the valve.
And it gets even better with memory integration. Ringer routes queries directly to local databases, like OpenBrain. So, say you ask a question you already solved last week. Ringer intercepts it, checks the database, finds the previously accepted answer, and retrieves it instantly. It saves you 100% of the token cost of having an expensive large language model recalculate a problem you already know the answer to. I mean, this is systems thinking at its absolute finest.
So, what does this all mean? The crucial takeaway is this: token limits aren't just a nuisance, they are a direct tax on inefficient workflows. You can keep manually tidying up, or you can build a system that prevents the mess from happening in the first place. So I leave you with this question. Are you ready to stop cleaning your own AI desk and let a localized architecture like Ringer do it for you? It is definitely time to rethink your workflow, embrace systems automation, and really 10x the value of every single token you use. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.